and it's not, but it wasn't frequent. But it turns out towards the end, like that's like his side gig for parties. He makes money by doing kids' birthday parties and doing magic tricks or something. But they just had like a couple of instances where doing card tricks and having a card show up in someone's bra and then having somebody's pants turn into like a sparkle fest, on like fire almost. Like you couldn't have done that. That's not something that sleight of hand at a teen drinking party works with. So it's like, yeah, I just got magic. Like, why don't you magic some other shit that's useful? Oh, I don't have good magic. I just have shit magic, was kind of the thing. And the just the whole thing where they couldn't trust anybody and they list everything off, and that was pretty funny, where they're like, there could be, like the grocery store owners, the cops, the people who do your hair, baristas, vegans, and all this stuff. They could all be part of the cult. We don't know. And so they're like, let's go pick up whores. And the whole thing is this kid has to lose his virginity because his parents belong to a satanic cult and he's still a virgin, so they're going to sacrifice him to bring in, like, to prevent the they aren't bringing in the Antichrist. They're just preventing the resurrection of Christ for 1,000 years, is what they say they're going to do. And so it's all a story about this kid trying to get laid while being chased by satanic cultists so that they can sacrifice him up to Satan. And not the best ways possible of getting laid. It took them so long to figure out that a prostitute would probably be easier than just going to a party and hitting up girls when they're nerds. But yeah, just general lack of cohesion. Like, can we focus on why this was part of a movie? Okay, it's just not important. I wanted a little bit more fulfillment out of it, and they did end it pretty epically. But that made me wonder, like, because there's a thing like in witchcraft that's like, oh, you have to sacrifice the blood of a virgin. And it's like, okay, but in some cases, that doesn't mean that you're going to like kill a virgin. Sometimes you can just take a couple bloods, or you take the virgin blood, which is when a virgin female first has sex, they bleed, and that counts. And it was like, they could have made that a real twist at the end, like, oh, virgin blood was spilled. So, dun, 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 which I thought would have been kind of fun, but that didn't happen. So,
Yes.
so that was kind of a disappointment because I thought they'd be like, haha, I got it. Like,
Because the waste
unexpected.
not want thing, it would be good.
But yeah, so those were my, like, I didn't hate anything. I just wanted more exposition on a couple of items. So, how about you, Tom? What did you think?
Yes. I
What
read
did
it.
you dislike?
um, I didn't like the party. I didn't like the house party. It was underwhelming. Normally in a teen movie, the parties are at least passable. You know, at that around that age, everybody's underage drinking and everything like that. But they overplayed it with the like everybody was having sex upstairs.
Just
There's like one was making out by the stairs, and pretty much virtually every room you're hearing somebody having sex and everything like that, and I was just like, really? It's like you're overdoing it with with that, and then it just and the house, it just feel like everybody was so crowded in. There was like hardly anything going on. It's just like drinking out of a keg and listening to cheesy music. And but there were some funny parts, that I like, but were in dislikes. Another thing is just like they just kept dragging on about the about this kid getting late. It was just like, really. Then near the end, when they're having, this kid's having sex, and he orgasms early for his best friend, but yet he doesn't orgasm early for the one that he wanted to bang. That didn't make no sense. And I was just like, really? Which they're trying to make fun of American Pie. Then when they actually do have sex, it's like, and there's like fire all over the place because they set the fire. After that, the next scene, not one like ash or burn mark on them. I mean, come on. At least like come out looking like there, you had like some ash or something like that. I mean, come on. And
Satan burned me.
yeah. And it's like, and I think, and I was really confused, and that's why that I disliked that. I couldn't believe that it was Carrie Elwes playing that cult leader, because I thought it was because I was literally saying, it's like, who's this guy that looked like a discount Jim Carrey? Then when the credits rolled, I was like, holy shit, that was Carrie Elwes. And then blink if you miss it, Dave Coulier was in the movie, and you did not know that he was in it. He was a goat wrangler. So I'm like, now I probably have to watch it again just to see where he was. But yeah, those are my dislikes.
Okay.
Ron?
Well, Carrie touched on my first one, which was the whole magic thing. They should have played that up a little bit and gave a little bit of exposition that even Neil didn't know how his magic worked, just that it did work, and that it is a byproduct of him being the one chosen for this particular sacrifice, that maybe it was actually related to the fact that he was the one chosen for this position in the church. So I would have liked to have seen them play that up a little more and give some explanation as to, yes, this is truly magic and not just sleight of hand, because it would have been impossible for him to pull some of those tricks off sleight of hand. And we're only left guessing. I wanted a definitive answer for that. I also would have liked a little more background information on some of the other players involved, like his parents. They were very two-dimensional characters that were somewhat robotic, really. Like they didn't have minds of their own, and they just followed whatever leader was available at the time, because they were so quick to jump ship at the end of the movie and switch to the other side. So there was like, they had no intelligence of their own. And I would have liked to have seen them at least question Sheldon's decisions. Why was Neil the one that was picked for this? They could have stated why they so blatantly believed in this particular religion rather than anything else. So the parents kind of annoyed me because they were so static and there was nothing to them. The couple that was chasing Neil and his friend, whose name I still can't remember, Matt, maybe?
Matt, Mike, Mark, something like that.
Yeah. We'll call him Matt because I can't remember off the top of my head what his name was. The couple that was chasing Neil, the blonde and the hot looking dude who kind of reminded me of the dude that played Quicksilver in the Marvel movies. Like, she's a total badass and he's sort of a simp, just kind of hanging on, has no brain function in and of himself. Like, we're Satanists, I wanted like some background story on them as well to why this is important to them. I like the fact that they kind of had this Pinky and the Brain relationship where she was the brains and he was sort of, Pinky aspect of it. But they could have done more with developing their characters as well. Now, I do have to disagree. If you're 17-ish, 18, it's your 18th birthday, you're not worldly wise because you've been sheltered your entire life to make sure that you don't lose your virginity. You're probably not going to know a lot about the rest of the world. So hiring a hooker is probably not the first thing that would come to your mind. The very first thing you do is go to the one girl that you're interested in and see if you can seal the deal. So that I kind of agreed with. And, they played it out like it was an awkward moment, and that was cool. But it took a while to get to that point. So you have this tension between the two, but there's no real building up of the chemistry between them in order for the viewer to go, yes, finally. Just like the rest of the movie, it's kind of meh. You're like, okay, predictable, but hooray for him, I guess. They could have done a lot more with that to build the chemistry between the two, so that when it finally happens, you're like, yay, but that didn't happen. So there's just, the whole movie is so underplayed from what I think it could have been if they had taken the time to develop it, even if it meant sacrificing a longer running time. You wouldn't have lost the viewers. They still would have been interested in the movie, even if it had been longer, as long as you kept their interest by the character development and maybe putting in a little bit more slapstick comedy, situational comedy of him trying to score and failing to do so. There were so many other opportunities that they could have done with that and failed, that they could have put other stuff in. I don't think it would have affected the flow of the movie all that much, which makes me wonder, was there any stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that maybe included all of that we don't get to see because they thought maybe it did ruin the flow of the movie? So I would just like to see this movie fleshed out a little bit more, with more character development, more slapstick comedy, more situational comedy, some background story, and then to really see Sheldon get what he deserves at the end of the movie. He gets burnt by the fire, and then he disappears, and then you don't see him anymore in the rest of the movie. But I wanted something more to happen to him. He needed some kind of comeuppance. I wanted some kind of revelation that would cause his parents to switch from the dark side to the light side. And just more explanation of his magical powers. I was thinking that Neil's magical powers would cease once he finally had sex, and that he would just be a normal person. But apparently he still has them even after the fact. So maybe his story's not done. Like there could be more to come, literally. Like if they did a sequel because, Satan's rising again, and this time it's up to Neil to battle the forces of darkness with his magical abilities that are now growing in power, something to that effect. But we don't get any of that. And it's sort of disappointing. But overall, the movie's not bad. It's like Del says, it's kind of meh, but it's still an entertaining watch.
Before I get into mine, I have to say, Ron, thanks to your Pinky and the Brain analogy, I can't think of that one scene where that one guy tackling Neil's friend the same way again. Now, every time I think of that scene, I'm just going to hear, Narf! from now on, that tackle is just going to be Narf.
You're welcome.
That scene's now going to be a good point of the movie now, just with that little addition.
Okay.
But, yeah, I too was expecting a whole lot more from dang, I keep forgetting his name. My brain keeps breaking.
Okay.
Neil?
Yeah.
Neil. Okay.
No,
Carrie
So-
Ellis.
yeah.
Else?
I was expecting so much more from his character just from his previous roles. And it just wasn't there. And then, as I said earlier, the movie just kept at random points just kind of losing me. It just...
Were you stoned when you watched this movie?
No, he was.
I wish
sick.
I was. It probably would have kept
Maybe
my...
try watching it again while you're stoned and see if it makes a difference.
Unfortunately, they randomly drug test where I work.
Oh, okay.
So unfortunately, that's not an option.
It didn't help that he was sick when we were watching it. So
Oh.
was I, but that's
Alcohol didn't even help.
It didn't help them either.
That's why we're all drinking tonight, apparently.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it helping us?
no.
I mean,
Good you guy. You get your drink.
as y'all said, it's not a horrible movie. It just could have been better.
More. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say I agree with you all. And so we've done. You'll have to forgive me. I am still sick and my brain is lagging. So
Oh,
say what?
oh no.
I'm trying to make sure I'm getting the list done. So next, well, we've actually been going through this at quite a clip. Have you noticed?
Yes, we have.
Mm-hmm.
So roundabout now, we would do the commercial break, and then we'd come back and
Give our
talk about the
ratings.
books and give our ratings and do the any 5 stars that Dell has found because she's awesome like that. Okay. If you'll please
Okay.
roll the beautiful Faye footage.
Rolling.
Greetings and shabibans. We are the Retro Reductibus Cephala Podcast, a long-form bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
Well, that sounds good, but I don't know what all those words mean.
I think what Parasite Steve's trying to say is that on Retro Redoctopus, we explore a range of retro goodness, from toys, video games and movies, to cartoons and even snacks and school lunches.
And we do it all with a positive spin, a slew of killer guests, and some very adult language.
And you know what else is cool?
No.
This crazy show is part of the Door King Podcast Network with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
What's that?
And if waiting 2 weeks for a new episode gives you a sad, know that we drop bonus episodes all the time, like the off-format Crow's Nest and an interview series we call The Brig.
You can listen to Retro Redoctopus on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or any app that's cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all the things that make growing up awesome.
Hello.
Booze.
And we're back.
And we're back. I suppose we should talk about the beautiful books that we are in with our wonderful friends and go from there.
Yes, let's talk about books. Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about how to read.
Exactly. Pick a book, random book.
Y'all know how to read?
Let me find them again. You should. You keep reading it to our child. Let's start from the bottom and go upward.
I keep faking it.
Faye Speaks. It came out in January. It is all the, if you wanted to see everything we put in the newsletter, all the art, all the poetry, all the flash fiction, you will find it here. You'll find stuff from family members, channel members, and other Fae-core people and Fae-core authors and artists, all here, including those here with us. We missed you too, Raz. And in the next one, you will definitely get to see Tom Dog's first story.
Uh-oh.
Speaking of Raz, okay, my kid had me make sure I put her rating up whenever I posted about Raz's book today. She gave it 10 stars because apparently that's what we do. She loved talking with her sister about it and then making fun of each other and whether or not they would do the things that Sophia and her friends did. So please go join them as they go discover the shadow people in the Harshman house and see if they can save their town. My kids loved it. I forgot to change this graphic, but yes. The honesty in verse. You will find poetry from Ron and I. You will find poetry from Raz. You'll get to see art from my kids. Well, my kid and my sister, you'll get to see all types of stuff. This one is different from all the others is that it's only the poetry and art. Monster Whiskers. This is one that I needed to update. You'll find stories about different types of monsters. Stories from teachers, stories from stay-at-home moms, stories from all sorts of walks of life, and all of them are about different types of monsters. Giant spiders, comic book monsters, and many more. So please go check out this book and see all the stories. And this one is our very own Owlite Menagerie, our network's first anthology. You'll see stories about ghosts, stories about creatures and cars, stories about the never-ending day in a mental asylum, and all types of stuff. So please go check out this book. All the proceeds for the first year goes to the Pro Literacy Foundation. Every adult has the right to literacy. Please donate or buy our book and let us donate for you, because we want everybody to know how to read. And that is something we are working on in my household daily.
Yay. Yes, go buy things. Read things. Reading is good.
We worked very hard to make our stories entertaining for you guys. We worked very hard to make our stories entertaining for us.
You book read.
And I can honestly say everybody in this chat room is proud of what their friends have done and what their family has done and what they did in all these books. And the newsletters too. So can't leave it out, because I don't want people to forget that they can read Tom Dog stuff.
I know. I always crack up over the newsletter one, because you're like, and you're in this. I'm like, oh shit.
Read Tom Puppy stuff.
Tom Puppy. Tom Pup.
So quick side note, because you said that. Okay, so my grandparents are from Tekamah, Nebraska, and people get really weird nicknames there. Like there would be, like one guy's nickname is Hawkeye, and there's Marmaduke, and there's all these different things. And, you have Red, and we had Uncle Red, and there'd be just Gassy was the guy who did a bunch of yard work and stuff for him after they moved in with my mom. But the across the street neighbor was Coon Pup, and he was Coon Pup because his dad was Coon Dog. And I think it was a hunting reference or something, but it was like, that was, once you had your nickname, that was your whole life. So he's going to be like, Coon Pup is now like 70 something years old, and he's still Coon Pup.
Exactly. It's the same way back home in the mountain. Little Redneck is older than I am, but he will still be Little Redneck for the rest of his life.
Yeah, just throwing that out there. That just came to me. I was like, he reminded me of Coon Pup, who had little gargoyle statues, and his friend grandma was like, they sell drugs over there, because she'd like look out the window at them. She had this huge windows, and they sell drugs over there. They do. I watch them. Like, do you tell anybody? No. Okay.
She's
Everybody
just mad
knows.
she didn't get a good deal.
Well, it's in a town that it's a very, very small town, and so it was like everybody knows, and the sheriff actually was under investigation at one point, or chief of police or whatever, because they had to bring in the FBI because somebody was breaking into like a school, or yeah, I think it was on the school, and he tried to catch him and said he was chasing over the fence, and he shot at him, and they shot at him and caught him in the foot, or they caught him in the leg, and he turned out he'd shot himself. He was drunk and thought he was chasing somebody, but there wasn't actually anybody there. But it wasn't until they got the FBI in and matched like his ballistics to his own injury that he had to be like, okay, so yeah, maybe that's what happened instead. And the fire chief was an arson who they caught the third time he burned his own house down.
Third time?
Nebraska. Yeah, he got away with it the first two, blaming it on his children being little match using pyros hiding out in their closet. But yep.
Oh sure, blame the pyros.
Yeah. It was when his wife had left him and he was living alone and he didn't have the kids over. They were like, this is just happening quite often with you. And I don't know, since he was like the fire chief, if it was like, some sort of weird Munchausen's type of thing where it's like, because they have, the nurses who like almost kill patient. There's a different name for it, but they almost kill patients, but then they
Angels of
bring them
Death.
back. Yeah, well, that's when they kill them. But you know what I mean? When they get the attention by like saving the thing that they freaked it. Anyway, sorry, this has nothing to do with Teen Lust, so we should go back to that instead of Takema. They both start with a T. That's all. I just squirreling. Okay.
Okay, how about you give us those 5-star reviews?
Oh boy. Okay, so when there are only a couple of them, so I will read them all for you. Joe Lusk says it's titled Funny, entertaining and funny, good movie. Todd Rudisill says 5 stars, sexy. That's all he says. Oh, you're seriously? Andrew Rothenbuehler says simple story, entertaining results. Just the right amount of cheesiness, good casting, not exactly a horror movie, but still a good flick. I wish John Doerr had a bigger role. Katrina A. Rollins is surprisingly good. We were looking for some good cheese and we decided to give this a try. It was better than we expected. With great Todd and the Book of Pure Evil vibes, 100% camp goodness. We want it on Blu-ray DVD so we can watch repeatedly in case it disappears from Amazon Video. We'll watch again. And then finally we have Sabir saying, I mean, come on, 11 out of 10. This is quite literally the best production I've ever seen. I feel blessed to have been able to witness something so beautiful. There are literally no valid complaints about this movie, and it's probably number 1 on my must-watch list. So Sabir has somebody in that movie with him that he's related to, or she, I'm not sure. But yeah, those were the 5-star Amazon reviews.
Okay, now that we know what they have to say, let's find out what we have to say. Del, how many stars and would you recommend it?
Well, because it wasn't utter shite, like a lot of things we've seen, it was still meh though. I'm gonna go ahead. Last week I'm gonna give this one a 7 because it wasn't absolutely horrible and the film quality was pretty decent. Recommending it, more as a background movie, I think, like something you don't have. I mean, you can watch it if you want, and it's short. Like if you take out the credits, it's probably only an hour long. The credits are hugely long. But I know a lot of artists who like draw and they have something going on over on the background to just have. And I think that would be a good movie for it. You look up and something strange is happening, or,
I can agree. It worked well while doing dishes and cooking dinner.
yeah. Or if you're drunk and just want something goofy to watch, okay. But overall, it's not like I'm like, oh, hey, you should see this. You're really going to enjoy it. It's just kind of like, feel something, man, just to coast on through. There you go.
Alrighty. Tom Dog.
Okay. I was originally going to give this movie a 6 out of 10. However, when I was listening to the credits, because there was this the end credits song that they played was really entertaining, and I couldn't stop laughing. So I took the liberty of myself to find out if it was an actual song. Sure enough,
it sounded like Wu-Tang playing to me.
Yeah. I Shazammed it, and actually it is an actual song, and I absolutely love the song. It's called He Makes the World Go Round. And I'm not good. And it's by a group called Ekanyel. And yeah, I absolutely love that song. It actually makes my that song be a lot better than A Hole Is Just a Hole. So with that being said, I give this movie a 6.66 out of 10. So,
Nice.
and do I recommend this? Yes, absolutely. Because if you're into that, if you're into campy teen movie humor, and you've seen all the tropes and everything like that, but this one has a little bit of a religious cult edge, like I've been saying. You're gonna get it in this movie, and I would recommend it. And so yeah, so definitely check that out if you have the time. And right now you can only see it on Plex, unless you want to fork over some money to pay for it. But yeah, I saw it on Plex, and it was actually pretty
If
good.
you go to Amazon, it's like $6.
$6.
Sure, it's not $6.66.
66 cents.
Sure, there has to be like a 66-cent, sales tax.
Right.
I don't know if they're willing, but yeah. Ron?
I think that the last line of the movie really set up that end credit song perfectly. When they're driving away in the car, he says, "Can we put on that Christian rock station?" And then it immediately goes into that song, which I thought was so appropriately placed. It was so well done that they had to have thought about that to set it up like that. Still, I would only give this movie a 6 out of 10 because I think that there are better movies in this genre if you're looking for this style. Revenge of the Nerds is way better in comparison for one of those teen type movies. Even Van Wilder was a better movie than this one, in my opinion. The big problem that I have with it is for a movie that's called Teen Lust and a kid that's trying to lose his virginity and the sexual situations that he somehow finds himself in, there's almost no nudity in this movie whatsoever, which you would think if it's a teen movie that's about a kid trying to lose his virginity, it would be all over the movie. And it's not, which kind of made me wonder, So I don't know if I could really rate it any higher than that because, again, the movie could have been so much more than it was if they had just thought through these things a little bit. So I'm only giving it a 6 out of 10. As far as recommending it, I don't necessarily know if I would recommend it, but, if somebody wanted to watch it, I wouldn't turn it off either.
Alrighty.
I want to comment on when you're saying that, when I think we're calling him Matt because we aren't sure, is with the prostitute. He's like asking her to take her bra off, and she's no, shut up.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, the whole thing, like the poster is, this bra coming off, and there's like, no, that never happens. There are no boobs at all. There's some nice Victoria's Secret, but it stays a secret. Okay, that was all.
Okay. Was just making sure, dearest husband.
I would probably have to go with y'all about 6 out of 10. It was better than a lot of the movies we've seen, and definitely better cult movie than Menos by far. And it just, there could have been a lot more to it. And as far as recommending, not really.
Fair enough.
Okay. Let me hold on a second. Unplug that thing. Okay. I give it a. You know what? I'm gonna go with the 6.66, and it generally was just. It's not my favorite movie. And there are Spy Kid fans out there that have totally and completely fallen in love with him and have become adults that are still wanting to watch all of his stuff. And probably Meghan Trainor may want to watch it as well, just to see all the things her husband did. Yes, I know what his wife's name is. Don't at me. So yeah. If somebody asks about Spy Kid movies, then yeah, I'll recommend it.
This is a Spy Kid movie where he needs to get laid to stop Satan from taking over the world.
See, if they would have marketed it like that, it would have been a lot better.
There you go. Well, shall we to the spinner wheel to see what in the hell we're going to watch next week?
Yes.
Yay.
I'm ready
Okay.
if you're ready. Let me know when.
Let me make this full size so people see. Okay.
Good, 'cause I'm
1,
blind.
2, 3, go! It's right on the line. Monster in the Closet from 1986.
Okay, give me a second. I am doing the look.
I do not know this one. I don't know most of the movies that are on his list because Uncle Necro just watched everything that was horrible. Yes. And some good
It
stuff
is
too.
a movie.
To be. Okay.
Yep.
So next
And
week.
if you want to watch it, I have put the link in the group, guys.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you much.
now it's in the group.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you guys for coming. You have been amazing. Now, where do you want people to find you, or do you not want them to find you at all, Delphine?
They go to Carrie, Kari Sanders on Facebook. If you see this, that is me judging you. You have found the correct Carrie Sanders. You can find me here on the Ally Network. You can find me in some books, some of which were listed earlier, but you can go ahead and just follow my links there to my Amazon page and see what books I have there. You can also find me Tuesday nights, and now a couple Saturday nights on Splash Pages, or Saturday afternoons on Splash Pages, because we've been getting some international guests. Tomorrow we are welcoming the amazing Jean Ha, and we're going to be talking about some great stuff that I'm not allowed to speak about. So yeah, you'll get some good stuff for tomorrow.
Alrighty. Tom Dog, where do you want people to find you?
Okay, you can find me on YouTube at TomRK69. Don't forget the little at logo thingy or whatever they call it. I already put up a video earlier. I did a review on some on this right here, the Pringles Hot Ones, and there's like 3 of them. Later on tonight, I'm actually going to be doing Wrestling Prime Elite. I had to put it off. I'll explain about it a little later on. This Thursday, we got the Super Bowl predictions episode on Channel X, and then of course we'll be back to our regular schedule with Wrestling Prime Elite, and as well as the OG Wrestling Prime. We got 2 Wrestling Prime shows, and you can see all that and a lot of other tomfoolery that I have going on there. And there's only one way to do that, is by face hugging that subscribe button.
Awesome. Please, definitely face hug and squirrel hug those buttons, guys. Ron, where do you want people to find you?
You can't find me lately. All you can do is just read the stuff that I have out there through Fakecore. For reasons that I won't go into, I have deleted Facebook off of my phone for the foreseeable future and will not be reinstalling it anytime soon. I have not deactivated my Facebook account precisely for this reason, so we can still do the podcast, but I will not be on Facebook much, if at all, for the foreseeable future. That also goes with TikTok as well. I still have an active account, but I won't be making any new material. So if you want to find me, I still have Messenger. You can still send me a message or send Friday a message and say, hey, trying to get in touch with me. And then she'll send it along my way and I'll determine whether or not it's something I can respond to. But
yes, if I can't answer the question, I'll pass you along.
Yeah. Otherwise, don't find me.
Alrighty.
In the trunk she stuffed me in.
Again?
It's dark in here.
I only let him out to go to work, and then when he comes back home, he has to get back in.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark in here.
I am. Good night, Jeremy. I am the ghost that plays with your hair while you're sleeping. But otherwise, you're in the closet.
Good luck with that.
And tell the goat to get his own room.
Yeah, right.
I'm on Owlite. I'm on Fakecore. I'm at Friday with the Library in the Blue Box. And I'm at my author page, Jennifer Elliott. Please. And if you have any questions about any of the authors or podcasters of our group, I will help you get to a hold of them, or will help you find the information you need if it is within my scope of abilities.
All right. Oh, he's yawning. We're losing him. We're losing him. All right. Thank you all for watching tonight, guys.
Yay.
There. Be good. Like, love each other and stuff. Yay.
Keep watching horror movies and keep loving each other.
And reading.
Reading is good.
Spay and neuter your friends.